Welcome to Colorful Anime, where we talk about anime from a colorful perspective. I'm your host, Lance, and I'm on with my good homie, Jordan.
Yo.
And we got our good CFA mugs here.
Heck yeah.
I'll try to like zoom in on something. There we go. He
I gotta do
in.
my Vanna White.
Right. I think I'm gonna try to make sure. I'm gonna try to get these out to. If you're interested in any merch, mugs, or anything like that, sign up for our Patreon. Our Patreon has. I didn't get to talk to you about this. Our Patreon has like tiered.
Yeah.
Merch based on what people pay for and stuff like that. So
nice.
Not only would we want you to sign up for our Patreon to get like good episode ideas and stuff like that, but we would also love for you to have one of these in your hand.
Indeed.
And wake up in the morning and say, these are some handsome fellas.
Yeah, it's turn it into a colorful morning.
Right.
Have yourself a colorful day.
That's amazing. So we here to talk about. We are here to talk about our first impressions of the new Bleach, the 1,000 Blood War, 1,000 year Blood War arc. I keep messing it up.
It's all good. It's a mouthful.
Right, it is. I'm like, come up with like a nice acronym or something like y'all do with everything else.
I mean, that is a dope ass title though. 1,000
right,
Year Blood War.
It sounds epic.
I mean, it do sound epic.
It sounds like you were gonna watch 1,000 episodes of just war and there's blood everywhere. But I just want to get on here and we're only 3 when this comes out. It might be 3-4 episodes in. Talk about our first impression. We did an episode on Bleach.
Yep.
Overview, kind of review what we liked, why you should watch it. But now we're gonna give our first impressions. What do you think? They doing a good job? What's going on?
Man, yeah. So at the time of recording right now, there's 3 episodes out. I would imagine by the time this is aired, probably maybe 5.
Yeah.
5-6 episodes out. But man, these first 3 episodes are fire.
Yes.
I'm so excited for this. Like the trailer, I think did a really good job of hyping people up without giving really much away.
Right.
Because like it looked so clean.
Yes.
Like, which I so appreciate. Because like, early Bleach, it's rough. Like you look back at like the first season.
They do that, right? In the first episode, they do like the ending.
Yeah.
And they do like they show clips of the old one. I'm like, this looks really cringy. Like we just watched like Demon Slayer style animation, and now we got to go back to the early 2000s.
Which, I mean, I think is a super awesome testament.
Yeah.
Of like how far Bleach has come.
Yes.
From like its original animation style. Because Bleach obviously from like the early 2000s, late 90s. So it's an older.
Right.
It's an older anime for the current generation. Right, exactly, right? It's so like a lot of these kids nowadays, Bleach is older than these kids.
Yeah.
And so, Bleach is fantastic. And Bleach is one of the big 3 for a reason. Because Bleach is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And it was so commercially successful for a while. Mm-hmm. Like it was insane. Yeah. And so you have like a fantastic story. It's come so far. Cause I mean, even when you got towards the later seasons of Bleach before it ended.
Right.
Right.
Quote, oh my lord.
Before it was unceremoniously dropped.
Yeah.
For dragging on too long. It got a lot better. Like the visuals got a lot better. And so like the way that this new arc looks, it looks so good.
Yeah.
Because it's the modern style,
Yeah, so some things I appreciate about these first 3 episodes is one, them deciding, and this would be a couple of spoilers, but we don't know enough to spoil everything for you anyway. Yeah, so
unless you've read the manga, because
unless you
read all the content in this arc
directly
is from the manga.
Yeah, directly.
Depending on what they do with it.
Right, but I mean, I think it feels a little different. It feels so. Okay, so I'll talk about the Fullbring arc first, right? The Forgotten arc, the arc that got him dropped, the money grab, the arc that was like, we need to figure out how to get Ichigo's powers back, but we don't really want to do anything. So we're gonna just throw him in a fish tank.
Yeah, Dragon Ball GT.
Pretty much. It was worse, I would say too, because it was nothing captivating about again, you talked about this the other episode. We watched Bleach for the fights.
Yeah.
We like the storyline and the arc, the characters are funny, but we watch it for the fights. So to watch essentially a whole season of like sparring in a fish tank is not that's not entertaining.
It wasn't compelling.
So for them to, am I right? Okay, I'm talking into it like sideways. So for them to start this season going into Waco Mundo, and also to kind of like to cause chaos being caused in the Soul Society, but then I think I want to say this cool because I've always thought that Waco Mundo was like the coolest setting
for sure.
in the entire Bleach. I think they know that too, which is why like, when you see the dark sky, you see like the white sand or whatever the case may be. I think it's it kind of can show off kind of like hey, we know we got new graphics, we got new animation, we're trying some new things. And so I think I appreciate them for jumping right into kind of like one of the most, because they could have just, I mean, we do get a little bit of what's the name of the hometown? I'm blanking on it right now. Right, I was
what
like,
is it?
No,
something like that.
Something like the town. It's like
such as a K.
Right,
I'm having a brain fart.
Right, but I think I appreciate them for like jumping right into Waco Mundo, letting us see some Espada again. That's another thing I like about this, that coming back. And I told you this. I think they did everything we liked. Everything we love from Bleach, they doubled down on it. And they said, we're going to do this. Right. And so, Orion card. We've always liked the Espada. We've always liked the Orion card. It's some of our favorite stuff for Bleach. Yeah. And so they're like, okay, here you go.
Yeah, right.
We all like the captains. We all like the Courier squads. So, and so they're not introducing anything new on the protagonist side, at least not right now.
Yeah.
And also even the what I want to call them, the OG Quincys, the Quincy Street Warriors, like even them, they're still a offshoot of something that we're already familiar with.
Right.
So we're gonna see new things, and we're gonna we're gonna learn more about the storylines and stuff like that, and how the it's a weird storyline because like the Quincys are essentially eradicated for doing what they've been gifted to do, which is kind of sucks. But it is going to be interesting to see more of that. I've always wanted to learn more about that because I think like the whole I've never believed that Ishida was the last Quincy. Right. No diss to him. He has some notable fights. I'm not mad at it, especially when he fights the weird scientist dude.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
The captain of the science squad. Or whatever. Yeah, it's got the giant like poison baby senpai.
Right, and so I think which is weird. Really weird.
So weird. His bankai is awful.
Oh my god. So matter of fact, that whole fight was paused.
Yeah. Right.
Especially the ending. But all I have to say is, they don't go back to the mount. They don't go back to anything to do with the full brain. They don't go back to the weird. Again, we talk about the Zanpakuto arc where they kind of are people now. Swords are people. And so they go to the things that we know, and they're going to go deeper. One thing I would ask you, what is one thing that, or not one thing, what are some things you hope that they're going to continue to do? Obviously, the manga exists, but outside of that, what are some things they hope they either keep to or that they kind of lean into or whatever to provide a new perspective or whatnot?
Yeah. I think, I hope that they do a really good job of fleshing out, like, the Quincys' backstory, and then also, like, Ichigo's connection to Yuash, who is the leader of the Quincys. Mm-hmm. So, because they, obviously in the old one, they say obviously that, that Ichigo's mom was a Quincy.
Right.
And so like they go over that and they're like, oh, so Ichigo's literally everything.
And they never go over it again. They don't talk about it.
That was it. All. Like they glossed over that so hard.
I'm like, what?
Like they were really setting that up to be a huge reveal, and then they glossed the hell over that. And so you you have Ichigo literally he's a Shinigami,
right?
He's a hollow, and he's a Quincy. Like, come on, bro, pick a power. Come on, dog. Like, you can't have everything in life, dog. Like, share a little bit. Just like take a little bit, and then improve on everything.
Right.
So I hope that they go into a little bit more of like Ichigo's backstory.
Yeah.
As far as like his familial connections.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will or not because I don't think I'd have to go back and check the manga again. I don't exactly remember because it's been a few years since I read it.
Right.
But like I don't think that was really a big part of the story that I can remember. And I don't know if they'll make it a part of the story, but it would be interesting for them to explore it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Eisen, man. Like I'm not saying that he needs to come back.
Yeah.
But like Eisen even created so much hell for the Soul Society by even just the things that he like put out in the like the Espada like he put out into the atmosphere and created or whatnot.
So dope.
And so that's what I'm saying. If we don't get Eisen, it's fine. If we have like an Eisen offshoot or like a leftover Espada or something like that or whatever, and because Waco Mundo is so like. It's so weird. It's like this large realm of chaos, essentially, and then there's like this kingdom in the middle. Yeah. And I will say one thing I don't like is how easily they conquered Waco Mundo. It was like 2 seconds they flipped this whole thing upside down, which speaks to the power, of.
Well, because I mean, you think about it, that's what the Quincys are. They're literally just hollow hunters.
Exactly.
And so they're like, oh, we finna just go do what we do. Yeah, exactly. This is what we do. We just kill hollows.
It's complete disrespectful.
It is. And they only sent like one dude.
Right.
They sent like one dude.
Because everybody else were just like,
and they were just chilling. They were just chilling. Yeah. They sent one Stern Ritter and he just took that whole mug.
That was
disrespected the mess out of Hollyville. Like, I guess you watch was there for that part.
Right,
I guess he took the squad to like take over initially, but then they had old boy just like doing
the eviscerating. I'm like, So some sort of Eisen offshoot or something because there are things that's like, I feel like his impact on Waco Mundo was so heavy that for there to not be like, a anti-hero in the tuck, I'll say that.
Because I mean, Eisen, really cool. Because Super did this when they brought back Frieza. Like, because Frieza arguably is probably Dragon Ball Z's best villain.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
because he has the most concentrated motive, I guess you would say.
And I mean, because you think about it, like, because Frieza was, like, Goku went Super Saiyan for the first time against Frieza.
Right.
And so, like, that was like, damn. That was like the moment.
Yeah.
And like, Eisen was Ichigo's first like real crazy villain. And so it's crazy because obviously he had to use his Bankai to beat him.
Right.
And then he had to use the final Getsuga Tensho to actually like put him away for good. But so you have the strongest transformation from Ichigo in the Eisen fight.
Right.
Still to this day. Because I mean his hollow transformation, it is what it is. It was cool. But like he only used it against the Espadas. He never used that against Eisen.
Which is
he didn't use that against any of the other
exactly.
So like he used that in like some fights, but I mean arguably to this point, Eisen has been the strongest villain he's fought. Like,
that's a fact. I think there are some notable battles, right, or whatnot, or even the what's my man the dog? What's the dude that was the wolf? The spider that was like Grimjaw. That was like an emotional component to that fight. But nobody tops, and that's what I'm saying. So to just discard Eisen completely, and I think we I like the serial killer mind of Eisen. Like what I mean?
He's conniving, bro. Like he's got everything planned to a T.
Yeah.
And like even the way, so for anybody that actually read the manga,
yes,
the way they ended it, and I'm gonna put ending in quotations. The way they ended the manga, because like we all know it got canceled because the author was told to wrap it up.
Wrap it up then.
So like literally the last panel is the author sitting at his desk over like some sheets writing. And it's Eisen standing behind him.
That's hard.
And the speech bubble says, "Oh, so you think Bleach is done?" And that's the last panel of the manga.
Yeah.
And so you're like, bruh. Like, bruh. Like, come on now. Like, how you gonna end like that?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think I think Eisen is evil enough to pull it off.
Right.
Like if it was a real thing.
And it's crazy because like I always go back and whenever, we talked about this in our episode a while back where we talked about our favorite villains and our favorite fights too, because Eisen's come up in multiple episodes.
Right.
Eisen is one of my favorite villains. Like,
for sure.
Of any anime.
Yeah.
Just because his whole thing, like, bro, he had all of them hook, line, and sinker, bro.
Yeah.
In Soul Society. Like, they all thought he was dead. It was crazy. And then he came back and he was literally just like, yeah, I could take any of y'all.
Yeah, he was like, he brainwashed the old girl.
Yeah.
He got like, Urahara kicked out and Yoruichi kicked out of Soul Society, who they were actually, I think, what I like about the flashback on that is that it points to how important they were to the Soul Society. Yeah. Because like Urahara don't look like nothing. Like when you see him selling, second rate,
but he's got his fingers in every single pie.
Literally, he's the reason why the visors exist. He's the reason why, which it isn't. I guess I would say his fault, but he has a hand in that.
Yeah. And I mean, Yoruichi is the captain of the surveillance squad, the information squad. So like,
exactly for him
he had to get rid of her because she would have found out eventually.
Right. So I think like they did a really good job writing a character that knew how to cover his bases.
Yeah.
And the only downfall would be something that he couldn't predict. Right. I think I like that because that makes sense. He's such a pensive character. Like he thinks through all of that. Yeah. And sure, he has like the natural evil stuff that all, antagonists have. But his amount of chess playing throughout the whole Bleach. Again, and we're talking about the new one, but I hope, come on. You ain't got to bring him back, but you got to have him somewhere or something. Well, or if he pops up at the end of this. I know this is supposed to be the final arc, but man.
Which is funny because they mentioned him in the third episode when they're fighting the Stern Ritter in Waco Mundo. And he's talking
about him giving them the business.
He was giving them the business. And they was talking about, he was like, oh, if these were Eisen's pawns, he was like, he really wasn't all that.
And I'm like, bro, this dude was causing hell.
Put some respect on Eisen's name, bro. Where you been?
Right. I'm like,
where have you been? So
man, disrespect. No, so disrespect. I look forward to. I just wanted to give like a preview of like, or not a preview, like a reaction to like our current, the current kind of series. I think it's gonna be amazing. I love what I've seen so far.
I think that TikTok clip you did. Where in the first episode,
that was great. That was so great.
We're all sitting in Ichigo's room, and that one guy steps in the room. He's standing on Ichigo's bed, and Ichigo's like, "Get off my bed.
Get off my bed. Who are you?" No, he don't even ask who you is.
He just like, "Get off my bed," and he was like, "No." And Ichigo's just like, "I bet."
Drop kick,
kick the mess out of him, bro. I was like, "This is classic."
And that's what I'm saying. That's
classic Ichigo.
That's like his typical Ichigo behavior.
Classic Ichigo. I love it.
And I think, his character, even though maybe a prototypical one, but that part of his character I appreciate that they're keeping. But all I have to say is, it's definitely going to be, people are talking about it. It's dope because both old Bleach fans and like people who are just getting into it are talking about it. If you've never watched the other 400 whatever some odd episodes of Bleach, watch our old episode and then you'll be okay. You'll be fine.
And I think in the first few episodes, I think they've done a good job of bringing, like you said, bringing in the old Bleach fans, but also creating new fans because the way they've set it up, you don't necessarily have to know the backstory. Exactly. You don't have to have watched Bleach to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You don't have to know the backstory, who Ichigo is, whoever these people are. Obviously, it helps.
Right.
But you don't have to know who they are to enjoy it from jump.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they will create a lot of new fans who are going to go back and rewatch Bleach because they want to know the backstory.
Which is perfect, I think.
It is. It's a masterstroke.
It's because I think we talked about the opposite is with like the MCU, right? Marvel Cinematic Universe, where they tied everything so closely together.
Yeah.
That you have, you got to watch the first Avengers if you're going to watch any of the Disney series that are coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
And
otherwise, you won't know what's going on.
Right, and that's good and bad. Whereas, like I said, with Bleach, since they've already had like that gap in time where it was like, you know, got canceled after the full bring and whatnot. It's smart for them to, hey, let's get right back to it. Hey, here's a little refresher. Ichigo, he's that guy. These people, they're his friends. We got a new evil villain, and they get right to it. They don't spend a lot of time trying to rehash old stuff. Yeah, except Eisen, if y'all have time, please
go back. Yeah, watch the Soul Society arc. Watch the Waco Mundo arcs. Because hot fire.
I'm trying to. Is there any other arcs worth watching? Those are pretty much it. That Soul Society Rescue Rukia arc was great. Yep. And then, like you said, the entire Waco Mundo arc going into the end. Yep. Because that's pretty much why you watch the show. Everything in between, I ain't gonna.
Pretty much all stuff in between is filler.
It is,
honestly.
It is
because like the Bound arc is filler. The Zanpakuto arc is filler. I think the Fullbring arc even is filler.
It's hard because it is, but it's the only way on anime that Ichigo gets his powers back, but it still is not.
I think to some extent, because I was literally just looking up like the arcs and so I think the Fullbring arc is either filler or it's like
is it not canon? I can't say it's not canon, but none of these people are going to pop up ever again.
Right? Like I mean, there's literally a list of like 13 arcs, and literally like more than half of these arcs are filler.
Yeah, I've saved this art. Is this I've saved the article that I'll have to link that too. Of episodes you don't have to watch in order to watch Bleach because that helps you get through it a lot easier.
Yeah, because they do like the Vice Red arc, which is actually in the manga because it talks about them. They have like these random ass like weird ass villains in between. Because what happens is they would go on breaks. Right. Where like the anime caught up with the material and they would have to just
create their own
make stuff up.
Story.
So yeah, exactly. They'd have to make stuff up. Because otherwise they wouldn't be able to they would be outpacing the manga. So no, so the Fullbring is like the last
official
like arc, I think. Yeah. Before now the Blood War.
Right. But I think I guess this is the last thing I'll say.
Katakura is the name of the town.
Katakura. That's what it is. I was like, I know it's something weird with 2 Ks. I think if you are just, you don't have to watch the Fullbring arc. You just need to know that after the end of the Eisen reign of terror, Ichigo somehow got his powers back. It's not relevant as to how.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, because I mean, so many shows do time skips. Because pretty much the Fullbring arc was just a long ass time skip. Exactly what it was. Yeah. And so like, you have so many, because like One Piece did it. Naruto did it with Naruto to Shippuden. Yep. So you have all of these animes that do time skips really well. Yeah. And like all you have to do really is you do the time skip and then you go back and you're like, oh hey, here's like kind of like a recap. You do like a couple episodes. Yeah. Like a flashback. You're like, because like that's what One Piece did. Right. They did like a flashback. Like, oh, this is the training they did. This is how they got more powerful. It's been
and then that's
X amount of time.
Right. And it literally could have just been a 2-minute flashback. And you keep it pushing. Episode. Yeah.
Like the whole Fullbring arc didn't need to exist because I'm just like, it's too much. The characters aren't interesting. Yeah. Like it just wasn't very interesting, and I think that's really what killed it. Yeah, was you just had a last very uninteresting arc.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Like being one of the big, and I promise this is the last thing I'm gonna say, but being one of the big 3.
Yeah. There's a lot of expectation.
Yeah, it's a lot of expectation. You have a lot of material, a lot of competition, especially as it was ending. Like, I think a lot of current day anime kind of like got their started. They're not gonna we're not replacing the big 3, but they're starting to get more attention or whatever. Yeah. So I think it was hard, but again, glad where they are right now. Yeah, glad, thankful for. I'm even thankful for the updated soundtrack, the OSTs. Yeah. So, because, that
was great when they released that. And then you come in on the first episode and they got that banger playing. You're like, bruh. Yes.
Because, old Bleach is like, it was pretty much 12 of the same little music bits. And you knew exactly what was going to happen when this little sad piano came on, or when the little ominous guitar came in to end the episode, or But I think a refresh, a update is just it's wonderful to see
for sure.
Well, anyways, I hope this got you excited enough to watch the new Bleach.
It's fire.
Because it is. All right. But y'all know the slogan. Stay colorful. Peace.